The Colorado Supreme Court has a big question to answer, and their decision could hurt some survivors of child sex abuse.
From either side, it's about rights of people and, protecting those rights and making sure that the Constitution is upheld.
Nelson Boyle is one of the attorneys involved in this case. His side, along with a victim of abuse, is arguing in support of a law passed in 2021. The state law created a 3-year window that began last year, where survivors of child sex abuse dating back to the 1960s could sue an abuser. This allowed a woman to sue Aurora Public Schools and a coach for abuse she claimed happened at Rangeview High 20 years ago.
And this is about protecting children. This isn't, just any statute of limitations, say like, for somebody that falls in a hole or for somebody that, gets in a car crash or something.
A court in Arapahoe County tossed out the lawsuit, finding that state law unconstitutional. Well, now the Colorado Supreme Court is taking up the case, and Aurora Public Schools is making the same argument in that court too.
The General Assembly can do many things, but what it can't do is take the legislative priorities of 2022 and transport them back in time onto conduct that occurred during the final year of the Eisenhower administration.
Aurora Public Schools claims they have a right to be protected from these lawsuits because too much time has passed.
I think what's so challenging, obviously, about this context is that but for this reopening of a window, many victims here would not otherwise have an opportunity to seek justice for the harms that they have suffered.
Justices are expected to make a decision by July. If they rule in favor of Aurora Public Schools, Nelson Boyle says lawmakers could try to amend that statute they passed in 2021, or the ruling could just say they can't do that, and all of those lawsuits would be tossed out, Kim.
Well, I'm glad you explained this because it's a confusing one and there are a lot of sides to hear.
Yeah, and it's a lot of steps too. So they heard the oral arguments and now they're going to review to see if those lawsuits can continue.
Thanks, Kelly.